Well, I guess the Sheriff came to town for Vitality because they managed to pick up a 1-0 win in dominating fashion on Split. Too soon? Too soon? Let's go ahead and jump into the breakdowns, though. Mimi, I think we all were coming into this high hopes for GE. We were interested to see how the experiment was going to work, but I think Sideshow said it best in the cast, right? It is an experiment. This is something that's going to take time, but that does not take away from Vitality, who just look incredible.
Yeah, GE struggled in this map, but Vitality impressed me a lot. I felt like the coordination between these players was on point. Bone Cold had some great ideas as the IGL, and I felt that their implementation of this double duelist comp was quite strong.
Yeah, it really was. And Sideshow also mentioned it to just go ahead and give him some more props. The overall macro strategy, not too bad from the side of GE, but the details are where everything fell apart. You see these Sheriffs coming through. Sheriff Savants, as we've gone ahead and given the moniker. Yeah. They really just are incredible performance when they have those guns in their hands, when they have any guns in their hands, really. Great consistency from GE to be able to get the pistol round, but it's just tragic that they can't get the follow-up. They can't win the anti-eco, and they just cannot build any momentum off of that. And you have to expect that, especially losing that second anti-eco round, that's just when all the gas just spilled out of the tank.
Yeah, and part of that, I think, is the unforced error of this team is just really, really good with the Sheriff. And part of it is, that's a forced error, and part of it is the unforced error of just GE's coordination was off, and they were giving a lot of these 1-versus-1 duels in positions where they had no business doing so.
Yeah, well, let's actually, go into our Verizon high-speed moment of the match here because, of course, all eyes are on Mulsi and Twistin in this one. And I think that part of the reason why you have to highlight these two players here, they're coming in hot, they're showing what they're capable of doing, they're shutting down any ideas that, that GE might try to conjure up here in these situations, and this is one of those reasons.
Yeah, I mean, just monstrous performances coming out from these double duelists, as Mimi was just pointing out. They've just been able to perform so well. That reaction time, just get that right click across, instantly scopes in on the screen and just take down Aaron, who was very consistently finding himself as the last man standing. He had that one clutch in the pistol. Unfortunately, we didn't see too many other ones. They just couldn't quite find their shots. They couldn't get those bullets to connect.
Yeah, this is a continuation of the story that we've seen all tournament long, where there's these debutants, the new players to the international events, come out and perform absolutely excellently.
Yeah, well then, what we want to see is players like SK Rossi really begin to show that God aim that we've come to know and love from him. That's actually going to lead us to our pre-map warm-up in the AIM Lab shoot-around here and gives us an opportunity. Words are hard today for me,
French
everyone.
Mode now.
You would think.
You've been talking to Carmen Corp?
Here's SK Rossi.
No.
You can go ahead and scan that QR code. But yeah, we're really looking, Seth, for just some more output from him. How do you feel about him on that Sentinel role, at least in Split?
I mean, unfortunately, we didn't get to see too much. We saw him trying to push the operator into his hands, which is normally a very faithful pair of hands to put the operator into, but unfortunately, he was just not quite hitting some of his shots, and I wonder how much of that is going to be nerves. We've heard from other players that had their debuts back at Champions, such as Kong Kong and whatnot, say, yeah, when you do get up on that stage, it is really terrifying. It does shake you up a bit, and I wonder if that's the case here for Rossi, and maybe going into the second map, he'll start finding his groove a little bit more.
He's going to need to, because that first map, the defensive side, I think one of the issues is that he was not finding value with those early operator fights. They invested in it multiple times on that stage, and I don't think he was ever really able to shut down those early gambits that the double duelist comp was sending out. So the expectation, very, very high for this guy. The hopes of India kind of lie with SK Rossi, so we need to see more out of him in this map, and I think there's a good chance we will.
Yeah, well, hoping so. We're going to be going over to Pearl here for map 2. This is, of course, Vitality's pick here. We have seen Vitality set favor this map in the past, obviously, when Chamber was prime and was in play. But, hey, we saw Chamber once in this tournament. Maybe we see Chamber again over here. Why not?
He's cropped up every now and then, but wasn't a very good look, to say the least. They have massacred my boar. My boar. But my boy. Anyway, yeah, don't think we're going to be seeing the Chamber. I think that would be a bold move, Cotton. I think it's just going to be a bit more of what we have seen. Maybe some more, standardized compositions here. Not necessarily the Harbor, but you never really know.
All right, Prime Gaming Agent Select here for Pearl. What do we get now, Mimi?
It is going to be interesting to see. We've seen, again, a couple different approaches to this map thus far at Lock-In, but it's been very much fixated on these B-long fights, these well-set executes. It'll be GE starting on the attack, which I think should be a stronger side for them, and they do go for a jet composition. This is similar to what DRX was running, but they run the fade over the Sova, which I question, because I feel like you get a lot more synergy out of the Sova when you run it alongside this jet, but you're right, yeah, both teams have made that decision.
Yeah, neither going for it, so it'll be really coming down to just who can pilot these compositions the best. We'll have to just wait and see for now. It looks like Vitality, though.
All right, well, let's go ahead and jump into map 2, of course. Can we get a map 3? Let's go ahead and find out. Send it over to Bren and Sideshow for the call.
Thank you very much, Golden Boy. Yeah, that's the question, isn't it? Can we get to that map 3? But it all starts here on Pearl as our map number 2, and Vitality already leading the series 1-0 off the back of some, solid calling from Bonko. Listen, the guy was at the bottom of the scoreboard, but it was the calls that really sailed them away to a really dominant win.
Yeah, I think Bonko's got a crazy journey as well. He made it to the top of the mountain, was all the way up at the peak of Valorant, lifting the 2021 Champions Trophy, and then dropped all the way down to play in the French leagues and the VRLs. I feel like Bonkold is the Sisyphus of Valorant. Yeah. He just pushed that rock all the way up the hill, and now he's back down at the bottom, pushing it back up again. But the struggle itself is enough to fill Bonkold's heart. He's just happy with the journey and the grind. While other players might have just been, content their whole career chasing that goal once, Bonkold's there for everything. He's back.
See a lot of util though, pushing off this opening pistol round, and it is so important that Global Esports get off to a good start, and it's exactly what they're going to do. Fights are being taken this time. A lot of players to back them up. Bit of spam there from Texture. Got to be wary because he knows the Sender's just, again, lurking his way through, but finally the backup arrives. Now, down to Twist and players weakened up. In fact, Aaron and Munyet would die to just one shot to the body with the Sheriff in his hands right now, so they do actually need to be relatively careful here. They do have a crossfire set up just on the back of Halls. Util's going to be bleeding away that time. The Haunt pushes him back just to the corner. Got to find the angle that won't be available to him. So Global Esports, once again, similar tale to what we saw from the previous map, where they were just winning these pistol rounds with great consistency. The question is now going to be, can they continue that? Can they actually convert it into another round on the back of it?
Global might be the team with the highest pistol round win rate in the tournament to go home in the first round. Yeah. I mean, they need to be able to convert off the back of this. They've won 3 out of 3 of the pistols. Surely, this is not going to be heartbreak again. If you look just at the minimap here, I think the danger could be averted instantly. Vitality have gone for a gamble stack, and the Sheriffs are on the opposite side of the map completely. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Don't overthink
Surely
this.
Global Esports are not overcooking it. I think this is just going to be an A split. They're taking their time early on to set up Aaron in A main.
Yeah. The knife from Mulsi did make them second-guess things because that landed very late over towards A main. Faked a bit of that presence, but no, this time the Global Esports players will be just flooding into that A site. It's going to be afforded to them. No resistance.
But also, in one of the pistol rounds, or rather one of the follow-ups, we saw the retake just so many opportunities where Global gave them 1v1s and didn't trade.
Playing offside here through main.
But I think this does favor the Spectre system. And the Global Esports players are so clumped up, they can't help but trade, surely.
Yeah, so the knife there not going to be tagging onto the Asher player. Going to be able to get that pull through. Escarossi just moves forwards. They're losing a couple of players. Now to C's also claiming one of the targets there. Sticking onto the defuse. Destrian, does he get half? Not sure. No, he doesn't. Denied that at least. And the spam through. This game plan a little bit all over the place. Sticking to half. No way. Not a shot in hell. But time running too low for him to make the most of that one again. So my word, they do just about scrape through and claim that round, but Global Esports, it's an expensive one for them to win.
They're going to give the Global Esports CEO an aneurysm. Yeah. I mean, these second rounds are absurd.
Yeah.
The decision from Rossi to push the smoke when Monya had already used his pull. Yeah. There is no chance that anyone is on the spike there, and it's, again, the small details making those rounds losable for Global, but all right, they get through it, and they're going to force up. So this is not a bonus round. This is just a straight-up rifle v rifle round in round 3. Everything on the line. Whoever loses this, drop back down to an eco.
So much importance now being placed on this one. Global Esports not messing around, are they? Flooding that util through. Knife's going to get removed, though. Might put a stop here to Global Esports trying to exec into this one because it's a little bit slow and it affords Twiston the right time to strike. What a flash through. Almost the entirety of the opposing team just blind to that one, dashing through to the side, and the smoke's being watched for. Twiston, you absolute animal. 3 kills claimed, but Bazzi will answer back, but he's left in this 1v2. And this is going to be difficult for him. He tapped the spike and just trying to at least hunt out one of the players. So intelligent by Destrian. Doesn't give him an easy task of just trying to hunt him down.
We saw Destrian playing exactly the same on Split too. Never offering opportunities for clutches to happen because of his passive positioning. Twiston is playing like a monster in this game though. Yeah. He's feasting. And because the trades are so poor from Global, he's just able to take one-on-one, then another one-on-one, and another one-on-one. He always gets the opportunity to reset his spray, reset his aim, because Global are just not quite sharp enough on it.
The kills end up flooding through, but then there's just a 1-2 hit, honestly. Vitality always ready. The flash repeat play, just never letting Global Esports regain that kind of balance. And so, push down to that eco round. We were highlighting the importance of it, with them opting into buying into that previous round, but Global Esports just taking their time for now. They're playing for that heavy A main control, just trying to grab some orbs, get some ults online potentially for the next one.
Twiston's going looking, hunting for the fights.
So greedy, but listen,
but also so confident, right?
He does, I mean, he's not going to give away a gun. He's got a shorty in his Blade Storm, so he can afford to make a play like this. Normally, would be frowned upon. Might be donating a rifle, but...
Did he catch a glimpse of somebody there? He knows they're in art either way.
Yeah, fight now. Just being taken, and that swing timing around the back. Reset there of the knives. SK Rossi doesn't get any sort of bailout there. So 2-2 going to be that scoreline early on here in Pearl. Imperative now that Global Esports can regain their footing.
They've got some big ults to work with. I mean, there's nothing really happening in that prior round, the anti-eco, but this is one where Aaron needs to cook up a strategy. They've got Lockdown, they've got Nightfall to work with. These are big ultimates to apply a lot of pressure. I think Global Esports composition is probably going to want to play towards the A site more often because they don't have a very good way of approaching on B. You can see the spike leaning in that direction. But I think the question of how to apply B pressure has also got to be asked. Both teams, of course, run in the same comp, so
this could be a real danger. Twiston's updrafted up onto this box ahead of time with an operator in his hands as well. He can watch all the way down this angle. The util didn't clear him away.
It is also a dangerous position to hold because we've seen Texture could double updraft and get the kills on him with the knife.
But okay, contact reclear now into A main. Destrian's taken slide off angle now behind this box. That wasn't really an attempt then. He was holding the angle. The crosshair placement was good, but does not get the kill.
Phantom moment.
Yep, dropping him down to 10 health. Someone yet survives, and Global Esports are just picking apart Vitality at the seams is what it feels like, and now it's on Twiston. What can he do? Just a bit of an ego peek there with the operator through that smoke, gets the 1 kill. Horn going to be spotting out Multi, drops down an aid, and Munyet none the wiser
look
in his astral form.
Look where SK Rossi is here. He's gone all the way through B on the world's longest flank.
They know.
Twiston's watching for it.
Yeah, he's watching for it. Seems to be just aware that this could be a possibility. Angles being watched. Pop flash play as well for that re-clear. And now time needs to be paid for. Yep, the flank not being watched for. Tap onto the spike, and all the pressure is on him right now. Re-swinging down, but beams them down. Shorty, man. Shorty's a strong gun, but it won't save you against that.
Now the lineup there from Vitality, pretty big mistake, but an understandable one. Great play from SK Rossi. I was worried that his flank would be either way too late or watched for, because Twiston felt like he had to read the whole time that Rossi was coming around. I don't know quite how Global Esports got read like that, but still, Rossi coming up with the goods. That's the first round where we've really seen him take control of the game.
So back and forth. That's a fast play with a Blade Storm. You can see Texture, he'd already dashed across to take this A main control. Now that Cosmic Divide as well. So Nightfall's going to be used as a response to this one. Vitality making it difficult for them to commit onto this, and Global Esports should be second-guessing this now because there's 3 players of Vitality just ready and waiting.
That is great work from Bone Cold as well. He had to use that exactly in reaction to SK Rossi's ult. So he was prepped and knew perfectly what he wanted to do. Read the play and countered it.
It does feel like Global Esports have been thrown a bit off balance here because now it's just a scramble. 5 players now grouped up. Can use that Prowler to re-clear deep into B main, but
I would have loved to see Aaron use his lockdown as a fake re-hit onto the A site to allow Global Esports to go for this pivot, but they're making it really noisy. A lot of utilities stomping the footsteps all along, and Vitality are just booking it to the B site.
There's no nuance in this approach from Global Esports. Making all the noise in the world right now. Angle not being watched for. And what a timing to take, Munyet. Ripping off the header sender. Swinging through, no, and that spacing just not good enough. A collateral in play, and one after the other. They're trying to take the fight, but they will all fall. Twiston, absolute masterclass in his performance, but again, it's just those little errors piling up for Global Esports that just doesn't allow them to sail away with a round win.
And when you leave these openings, a player like Twiston, especially on Jet, that allows you to take timings and then dash away to safety. And he's just loving it out there. Yeah. Twiston's had one of the best opening games I can remember. He's 11-4 already after 6 rounds have been played. He had 20 kills at the half on Split. I can't remember exactly what he finished on. But this is an insane opener.
Now a fight to be taken. So risky at playing, you've just got to be kidding me.
There's another one.
Yep.
It's over in a flash.
I mean, collateral after collateral.
The word flawless doesn't quite even sum that up. It's an understatement.
And yeah, it was an eco round, but even still, it's been a recurring theme, honestly, for Global Esports dropping a couple of these rounds just from the fact that they haven't been able to swing with enough spacing between them. And that, honestly, it feels like right between your elbows. I mean, even he's like, okay, well,
sure.
Not sure how I achieved that one.
Sure, I'll take it.
Okay.
Global need to find an answer. They still haven't found an opportunity to use Aaron's lockdown. Aaron's been playing the middle of the map, trying to push and pull the different pieces that he has on his chessboard, but he hasn't really found enough opportunities to get involved himself, and Aaron was actually one of their biggest players on Split.
There's diligence there, though, from Global Esports, making sure to jump peek these corners so they debate that op shot. They know the Twiston's playing the other direction. Now the util's going to be sent flying through. That's going to be a Prowler up close. Lockdown as a response, though.
And they know that this is going to get value because Bone Cold had cleared out the whole of A. However, Bone Cold running into Monye there does open a path for Global Esports to just pivot back.
Just didn't expect there to be players there, I suppose, but lockdown used ever so slightly later, so yeah. Clearing out this site, but there was space at the back of Hall. Someone needs to break this turret. Texture just being whistled down to no health at all, but players are weak.
Do they know that Vitality could be in back halls here? Do they know the lockdown?
No back halls control, and that's an immediate punish from that one. Just on a heaven position, he was offered a free shot, but it just about missed this one. Are they going to be able to get this plant down? They haven't cleared these players out of back halls again. Just seeing limits to it, and Destrin, he's caught this flank timing. No one's watching it. So many gaps in the play, and just like that, picked apart. Munyet, 1 star, has the pull. He can disrupt this one, but so much to do for him. Good timing off it. He is smoked away, though, but that's going to dissipate, and it's all on this.
They don't know where he is.
What timing can he take? Buys his time, has to hit the shots, reset one at the avenue, but it's just being stuck.
and Twiston hitting the no-scope after someone tries to shorty him.
Yeah.
How dare you, shorty Twiston? 15-4. And Global Esports just not able to put together a round again. The gap that Destrian exploits is inch perfect. He got into this position because he'd slunk his way, on the flank through B link. So while Bone Cold ran through spawn, Destrian managed to wiggle his way through the shop area. And he knew that Monye wasn't watching it.
Just not enough layers.
But also, Vitality are doing such a good job at just abusing all of the holds, right? It's one thing to know that your opponent's making mistakes, but Vitality are getting the punish every time.
Very intelligent gameplay from them. Another instance now where it is, of course, Global Esports knocked down to the weaker by You can't have a repeat of that first map. Said earlier, if they can regain their kind of footing, but so far, obviously, distance between these rounds, 5-3 being that scoreline, it's not too wide. Still, a lot could be done.
Yeah, there's obviously chances back into this map and chances back into this series, especially if their players were feeling the nerves and that impacted the game and they can get over it.
Yeah, flash through, Horn's quite good, lands into the back of the side, but ever so slightly mistimed. And okay, Texture, let's see what you can do. Cloudburst laid down, his gun wasn't ready. Util was quite good there, multi-weakened, dropping down quite low. That's a double swing onto a high-low setup, but the Frenzy, just not enough bullets to make the most of it.
Next round, the most important one, though, for Global. It's an opportunity to get the momentum back and put a round on the board where you'll still be able to buy next time. Cosmic Divide can be massive. I mean, we've seen teams just pop a Cosmic Divide down on B, go for the plant spot behind the box, play post plants off the back of that. There are certainly options here, but it's about how they navigate the space and make it so the Vitality aren't just stacking the side of the map that they want to play. Oh, Vitality are looking like they want to fight really heavily over B here.
This feels like a hard read almost. They see that the Astra Wall is available. They're not going to be giving them easy access to the top side there of B main.
And the brutal thing about this, Bren, is that if Twiston scares them away from B, look what Destrian's got for them on A. He's just sat in secret with an Odin, waiting to deny the plant.
With a turret covering his head.
Yeah.
I mean, the setup is just so well thought out right now, and the alarm bot's going to give all the information for Sender to know that they are lurking their way through Art.
Salah and Bone Cold have been cooking.
Yeah. These setups are looking nice. Nade close, though. That should push them back off that corner, but they haven't broken the alarm bot. So, full knowledge to be gained now. Vitality know that nobody's committed off the back of that utility through Art.
And Twiston's dropped back into a more passive position where he still gets good info, and that's freed up Multi and Bone Cold to roam around the map and fill in the gaps.
That's a good knife, though. We'll at least deactivate that alarm, but the players are there to just, again, fill up the pieces. Twiston holding this one. It's a flash and a nightfall. Does push him back. Just absolute ego plays, fully blinded up with a pop flash, but, well, just some blind fire, it seems like. Now Bone Cold needs to be the difference maker. Because Vitality have dropped like flies, and his timing is absolutely everything, but the shots just do not land still. One after the other. SK Rossi, does he expect it to be a second player? The answer is no. This high ground position, a bit of spam there with the Odin. Destrian does reveal his position. Left down into a 2v4. Double swing there, and a weapon just not good enough for that job.
Good double face, though. That's what we've been missing.
That is what we've been missing, and despite the fact that Sender's crosshair placement was immaculate, not going to be afforded anything else.
I like the pathing from Global there. I think they found a really nice opening through B-Link. But what on earth was Malsey doing? Flashing with his knife out, running through the smoke.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a major blunder. And so far, all of the unforced errors have been in Global Esports camp. And that's the first round where we've really seen Vitality make a play and then fumble it completely. But you've got to give credit. The utility pressure from Global was great as they went through B-Link. Yep. They pushed Twiston away. They just also got gifted the kill on Malsey. Can they string together this one opportunity into a decent half here? They still have this Cosmic Divide. A B site hit would be nice, but I think Sender's got the read. He's got nanoswarms in the common plant spots on B.
Yep. Counter knife is very nice. Going to be getting off onto the two players there, so it suppresses them and it pushes them back.
But my big problem, though, is Global are creating no pressure on the other side of the map. Destrian has already been confident enough to just poke his head around A main. Oh, yep, nothing there. Yep. And there's 4 players already on the B side. Global need to have a bit more of a spread presence, a global presence, if you will.
Oh, my God.
On the map.
So I'm looking for a new co-caster. If you'd like to send in your applications.
I think Pansy's in need at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay, so now actually, Global cutting a bit of noise and offering the tiniest of noises and pressure in mid has made the defenders spread out a little bit, but not enough.
Be aware, surely, because look at this reposition. Close to the corner, Sender's there. And is there going to be util to clear them out? Usually there's a seize that accompanies this push. Lassie does have it available, and they just push forwards. Shorty's in their hands. Right up in the air, inaccurate, still finding the kill. But they have been pushed back for the moment now. You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me! Oh my goodness. Weakening the players. Still the answer back and into the back of the halls. There's just a fight being taken. SK Rossi winning it out and does claim that area of the map for them. Down to Destrian. What can he do here? Is anybody going to be watching for him? Aaron tucked behind the box, just waiting it out. A lot of fights he needs to try and take, but it's all that pressure. There's no way. Good swing timing from Aaron, though, but left now. Now 2v1. And Twiston is running out of time. Exchange there for the rifle. Has one more Cloudburst, but now the Swarm. Tags onto him. 55 health drop down. A bit of random spam. Finds the first kill, but he did not get half on this defuse. Dash enabled. Aaron sticking all the way through, and oh my goodness, almost making the play, but salvaged in the end.
Whoa, that is an incredibly close round. But I think Global Esports has done a great job there. Their ability to get into the site and use the Cosmic Divide to get into a favorable post plan, I like that. They're finally being able to string a couple of rounds together, and this is already a good half. 5 rounds on the board. If they can push it to 6, they're really starting to apply the pressure to Vitality. And you're seeing the players get a bit more confident. They're waking up.
Waking up indeed. If they can make this an even half, it'll be beautiful for them. Lovely setup. This fight is about to take place with the operators. Guess what? Bit of a jet diff occurring right there and then. Actually making a name for himself, honestly, as well as that Korean jet player of 2023. And Twiston has been, so far, an absolute demon in this series. Shutting him down early. It's going to be quite good for them.
Yeah, taking out the final boss in the early stages is definitely going to be useful. But there are other players on Vitality that can be just as problematic.
Contact reclear? Oh,
Monya's going to have to control this.
Yo, the timing there was just so unfortunate. Monya dropping into his Astra form, but now there needs to be some pace. Moving all the way forwards. Can he take control at the back of this site? Oh my goodness.
They're planting in the open.
Just beamed all the way down. Nothing covering them as well from that position. Bone Cold's handed some of the easiest kills of his life. And now the lockdown. Just layer after layer. Pushing the players back texture. Just cannot quite get out of there. And SK Rossi in that 1v3. The pride of India. But with 25 seconds left, he's put in an impossible task.
We saw Aaron win a 1v3 earlier on to give Global Esports the first pistol
There's
round.
One.
Rossi's got the talent.
Fight being taken, but not much time left into this one. Util just being dumped through and a wall watched for. Destrian knew that time pressure was on, and 7-5 will be that scoreline. Global Esports fighting back in their own way, making it quite respectable.
Yeah, I think that is a respectable half. That's what you're looking for from Global. Apply some pressure. If they can come out with the pistol round win and follow up again, which would be 4 out of 4 pistol rounds, but if they can do it, this is still a really close map.
Yeah, and now a very special halftime as well. Let's throw it down to Yinsu, who's got a special guest for our halftime interview.
That is right, Bren and Saisho. I've got Rushi with me, the co-founder and owner of Global Esports. You waited a long time to see your players up on this stage. You know, how does it feel to finally see them play? I see you guys down there supporting them as well.
Yes, it feels amazing. It's crazy. We didn't think we'd get this far, but here we are, playing on the biggest stage in the world.
Yeah, I love hearing you guys cheer for them as well, all of the GE fighting coming on as well. What do you make of their performance so far? That was a really close half.
Yes, it's been okay so far. I know this is usually how the team starts, so even when they're scrimming, the first map is usually the slowest and then they pick up pace. It's looking so far so good. I think we should be able to pick up and take this map out and hopefully take it to map 3.
Oh, you have faith?
Yes, I have to.
Now, if you could, talk to your players right now, give them a little bit of motivation, what would you say to them right now?
Oh, wow. It's easy. GE fighting.
GE fighting?
Yes.
Anything else? Because I feel like a couple of them looked a little bit nervous in the beginning, but they're really picking up the pace now.
No, I think they're okay. A lot of them have experience on stage before, and the people that I was worried about are Monya and Texture because they haven't played on such a big stage before. So I think they're doing pretty good. I think now the team is just getting warmed up. They'll be good.
We're going to get to a map 3. You're promising me this. You're confident?
If not, I'll get you a jersey.
Oh, I'll take it. Okay, let's get a GE fighting at home for the fans that are watching.
Okay, perfect.
GE fighting!
GE fighting!
Yes!
And also shout out to the 300 plus people watching at our watch party in Mumbai.
Oh, okay. I love that. I love that shout out. Thank you so much for joining me. I can't wait to see what they can do in the second half, and I'm going to pitch this back to Saisho and Bren to get it on the way.
GE fighting. That's the key.
fighting.
That is the key, Josh. The key to victory. And listen, this map is looking much better for them in comparison to that first map that we were just watching on Split, where it was very one-sided. You know, when you have new rosters being formed in this fashion, like Global Esports, talent coming from many different directions, different teams as well, different nationalities, there's always a risk that they might just falter on the big stage like this.
Yeah, but heading into this pistol round, it's going to be so important. I think it's almost too much to ask that Global Esports could win 4 out of 4 pistols, but so far they've been good for it. They've had set plays, and I feel like maybe quite a lot of their prep focus has been on winning those pistols.
Yeah.
And, you know, they tripped up on Split. They weren't able to convert, but that was a different map. Maybe they were in a different place mentally, too. This one's really important.
And so a lot of focus being placed now onto this pistol round, but you can already see it. Waves of that utility being used. Hammered into the back of the B side. Twiston up close, and there's that Nano Swarm. Texture just trying to evacuate. He was dropped down low and does fall, but SK Rossi still alive, still in the fight, and he answers back. 2 kills claimed, making it that much more difficult for them, and still the flank being watched for.
Nice play.
Yeah, controlling that spray down, so watching for the flank. Now it's down to the 2 players of Vitality. Bonko will get this plant off. There's not going to be any pressure applied just to try and disrupt them, but Destrum with the timing, no one really watching that one, and now taking the swings all together. Moniette inside of his astral form, and finally the swing is there from Aaron, the team captain, the IGL, making sure that they can slam dunk once again another pistol round.
Yeah, 4 out of 4 pistols for Global. They look clean in these rounds. They just need to extend it, that kind of focus, to the rest of their game. What a performance. And what a 2K from Rossi as well. This one really crucial to shut down Sender. But the anchoring from Rossi there was very nice. The kill onto Texture, so important. And Brent, I know we've talked a lot about Rossi, but I feel like he's just such a cool player in terms of his backstory and his motivations. And I was watching a recent interview that he had with Yinsu, and he said that he's done well domestically, but that was never his goal. He said, in India, we always worship foreign idols, foreign teams. We never had an Indian team to look up to or an Indian player to look up to because we had no achievements outside our country. And SK Rossi was saying, I need to change that. I am in a position to change that. This is my moment. I need to do it. I mean, that just speaks, I think, to the way that Global Esports is approaching this game and the way that Rossi's approaching this game. And this is a winnable map for them.
Yeah, so winnable. That importance as well for India as a region. We really have been hammering this point home, but it's a region that's just been, you know, marred, I think, by issues with the infrastructure as well. Just really kind of like putting a dampener, I think, on the esports scene, but this is a massive moment. See if they can make the most of it here on this big stage for SK Rossi.
Yeah, can you capitalize?
Yeah.
And the rest of Global as well. I mean, it's players from all over the place with different backgrounds and different stories, which makes it a really ambitious project. Texture picking up both of those kills over on A and shutting down one of the biggest threats. A 3v5 for Vitality. Surely it's unwinnable, I mean, even with the Sheriff potential.
Even with the Sheriffs, I mean, oh my goodness, it's looking a bit awkward. Nowhere near as awkward as it has been in the prior map. Already just layering into the util. The Siege, the Horn, everything being used. Multi just trying to make it difficult for them, but Texture's watching that angle down. So this time, Global Esports able to win out in that anti-eco round. Not too much damage being done as well to their own economy, so a much better beginning to this half.
Yeah, super important. And if you recall last time, round 2, Global Esports barely kept anybody alive, and they had to buy up for round 3, so they didn't get a bonus. With how cleanly Texture dealt with these players, they've got a good bonus round.
Yeah.
So do we see a set strat? Can they damage the Vitality economy? Can they keep some momentum going? For the first time in this entire series, the play is actually in Global Esports' hands.
A battle, it's not going to be taking place just yet, but that slow take of A main control from Vitality. Have the rifles, of course. At the same time, that util being sent forwards is just Bonecode alone. Just trying to make sure that they've got presence, and this time the swing timings are there. They were spaced up, overlapping each other. There was potential for that spray down, but the site going to be gained. So Vitality realizing it's been offered for them.
Look at
and now
Twiston,
the slag timing. Twiston is so pushed. all the way into their spawn with the rifle in his hands right now, and it has been cleared, but where's the trade? It's not there.
Oh, that's
Sprays
unbelievable.
them down and a dash back just to disengage. Wants to play with the rest of his team in his high-low setup. It's brutal to try and break through. Texture, in the midst of all of this, it's managed to find himself a rifle, but 2v4, might as well try and play it. A bit of a random spam again, just onto that common angle means that Monjet's dealt with, and oh my goodness, the reactions just dragging that one all the way down, finding a final bullet.
The spray control from Twiston and Malsey was impeccable in that round. And once again, the same as Split, this duo, this relatively unknown duo to the global stage is pounding.
Yeah.
And if you talk to any fans of EMEA, Twiston and Malsey, they're primed. They're ready to take that next step up to the big stage and show everybody how talented they are. Underrated, but very skilled.
They have just been waiting for that opportunity to showcase what they can do on the global events, on the global stage.
And that bonus round from Global didn't actually do very much damage to the Vitality economy. So...
Flash play! Oh my goodness, that's a little bit awkward.
Oh, Texture didn't take a point of damage, but I don't know how.
Yeah, I mean, just about gets out of there, doesn't he? Still, another pop flash play, and that angle was just perfect, but oh my goodness! Monjet just running circles around them, spraying them down, a bit of inaccuracy helping him out, and well, the main choke point also being watched for. Texture, a bit more of a defensive position from him, but this round so far just entirely secured up from Monjet, really.
Yeah, I think the biggest player that has improved from map 1 to map 2 and maybe shaken off some of the nerves that Rushi was talking about is Monjet. How many times did we see him push a smoke, take a bad fight, not be there for a trade on Split? And now on Pearl, he is in the right place at the right time more often than not.
Timing of that was just insane.
It was, yeah. I mean, he's playing anti-flash and he swings to help his teammate, sprays them both down. Second kill, maybe a bit of run and gun.
Sender's going to try and do his best to win out that round, but no swings, no easy fights being afforded. And so a Prime Gaming flawless here for Global Esports. 8-8, being this scoreline.
That's major.
Yeah.
And Vitality are actually now put in a difficult spot. Their economy is good enough to force, but it will leave them with a bit of a worse setup. How Sender quite beefs that first engagement, I am not sure. Sender should have had the kill on Twiston. Oh, sorry. Sender should have had the kill on Texture 10 times out of 10 there.
Yeah. But that flawless round working out, and now it has pulled out a timeout from Vitality. They're feeling okay. Setting up the heat a little bit. Map 1 was nice and easy for us, but this one is a bit of a different task, and so they feel pressured to take that tax timeout and decide what they want to do.
I think part of the decision will be, do we want to force or not? They can afford 4 rifles, so I think the best option is to force in that situation. But Destrian's only going to have a Sheriff. Yeah. So it puts him in a bit of an odd spot, but it's pretty fine to have your Astra play passive on the attack side and mostly just control one area, look for flanks, play the post plan.
There's some good ults that are online for Vitality and are going to be coming online as well. So you have that Nightfall and Lockdown available to them, one away from the no command.
But I think from a tactical perspective, from a strategic perspective, there's not too much that Salah can be talking to them about here, because their explorations through the map have been relatively successful. They just got double sprayed down towards Art. I don't think that's really like something you need to change the macro game plan around.
Here's a fight that's going to be taking place. Again, the Battle of the Jets, you're going to be witnessing this head-to-head. Recall star up close. At least just a star popped actually off the back of that one, and it's left ever so slightly a gap. Texture. Beautiful shot from him, just finding the target. Twiston though, playing up close. Flash play as well. Let's see if he wants to try and play through this one. A dash forwards into it, and the angle not watched for. SK Rossi with the anchoring. Might have just overcooked it though. Tries to take the wider swing, wanted a little bit more, and he is going to be punished. And that lockdown, Texture just mistiming it.
Okay, doesn't look like Texture's going to get punished, because this would be wild overextension for Sender, but they might catch a rotator, retaker.
Yeah, pushing forward, just trying to take this fight forwards. There's a Prowler, and a whole lot of utility just jumped through. Texture though, what an answer once more. The Blade Storm ripped out of his hands, and 4 kills were found in that round. Wonderful, wonderful response, and You know, for as much as we have been highlighting Twiston as that player, as that guy who's just been the spearhead, the entirety of Vitality, just putting up monstrous numbers. Texture finally coming online and finally really just showcasing what he can do.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, I was worried when he got caught in the lockdown, but they'd already shut down the player that could punish him. I think if Twiston was alive, he would have sought out that duel, but instead Texture allowed to stay alive and pop off. Aaron's happy with that. Texture's not a bad replacement for Cryo on.
Yeah, apparently.
As a teammate, as a Jet starter setup. Have we seen Vitality on an eco round yet?
I mean, we have when they've been losing these pistol rounds.
Sure.
But outside of that, it feels unlikely.
I can't quite recall, but it definitely feels like Global have got the best opportunity they've had. Again, Monya, though, gets a 3K out of that position, even though he's pushed.
Being pressured there by the Stingers as well is a difficult task to really remain unscathed. So the fact that he did get 3 is quite impressive. But they have handed over this rifle to Destrian. But not going to have the players afforded for Vitality to make the most of this one. It's going to have to be, again, heroics and lurk plays, maybe. You can see him throwing out the starter just to throw in a bit of subterfuge. But I believe there's an alarm bot just before it. Yeah, so they're just fully aware that he's not going to be pushing through that smoke.
And he was hoping that the smoke would draw more players to A and allow him to get a lurk off, but Bazi was watching that area no matter what.
Yeah.
Doesn't really look like there's going to be an opportunity for Vitality to turn this one around, especially with only 30 seconds, but we've seen them win some crazy rounds so far.
30 seconds left.
Dash popped off, that's in response to that. Asher Star's just being placed down, and yeah, all down to Destrian, but he's contained, taken care of. Global Esports showcasing that they were fully aware of that one, obviously losing prior control of mid in that round. So they have taken the lead in this map. This next round now going to be so important for Vitality. A ton of ults available to them if they wanted to try and swing it around, but Global Esports, not even on their map pip. They are finding themselves with a steady lead. The potential is there now to try and take this all the way into that map 3.
And I think that the level that Vitality is playing at is maybe slightly lower than Split, but to me, the big difference between map 1 and map 2 is Global Esports stepping up to the challenge. Bit of a fight happening in mid here as Global Esports look like they want to pressure with the operator.
Oh my.
Nice shot, again takes that tip of the spear off.
Just able to do that one on LAN apparently.
And now Vitality, without the tip of the spear, are just left with a stick.
And again, it's a recurring theme, it feels like. Texture just removing that threat of Twiston. The guy is supposed to be leading the charge.
The defensive side probably just favored, you know, in the Jet head-to-head in general, but that's what you absolutely need to do. You can't allow Twiston to just have his way, which he was able to do all the time in map 1.
The Prowler does push away Texture from that angle. Now opting to play at the back of the side, but there's going to be that no command sent through. Watching for the smoke push. No one there. It's going to dissipate. Now a Cosmic Divide as well. And Texture, you got to be kidding me. You can't be trying to push through this one. I mean, can't use any abilities whatsoever. Doesn't even have a dash. Does he still want to try and take this one? Planted out into the open.
It's a great plant spot.
Yeah.
I think the key player to watch here is going to be Monya.
This timing just being taken into mid. Could be a bit of a backstab play. Prowler goes through the wall as it does fade away. Monya now off the smokes. It's a double face, and okay. Contained, just that flank, that one play that was happening. Now to Nightfall, scatters his way across, but it's that 3v3. Bazzi sticking it, does manage to get half. The shots, not fired, but eventually they deal with him. But has enough been done for them? The smoke again fading away. Texture sticking it now with the cloud burst, but eventually enough shots fired off into the cloud burst that they find their mark. And Vitality, it's a little bit squeaky that round, but they do eventually claim it.
I think though the strengths of Vitality's post plant would win them most of the time that round.
Yeah.
The fact that they control art so heavily, and this kill here, to me, just closes the round out. Because without any pressure, they have 3 players holding this angle, and the spike is just right in the open, right in front of them. Unless the spray misses miraculously and someone gets a full diffuse off, they've got this.
Whoa!
And there's the punish! I was wondering if anybody would try and pull that out. It is such a dangerous position to opt from when your opponent has knives.
For exactly the reason that we just saw. And now that Jet head-to-head, that battle that's taking place between these two players. Twiston, he answers back, doesn't he? Gets up to 20 kills on it, but holding the up close position. Dash was just about fading, he couldn't get out of there.
And that was a really bold angle to be taking. The defenders have the advantage there almost all the time. And this lockdown is so early from Aaron. Monya can't overheat.
Offsetting of the movement, do they want to try and punish this? They know where he's going to be isolated. Jump Peak going to be spotting him out. Bazzi has to try and bail him out here. Util drop forwards, and there we go. Swing is just perfect. Fragment nade did rebound against the wall and take out Monya, but Global Esports were showing that discipline, but they have offered up the entirety of A now. This lurk timing from Sender. He has managed to find his way deep into the back of A. That alarm bot, though, is going to be revealing that that position is compromised. So
fight in mid. There's something going on here. Destrian
what is occurring?
Clashing with Aaron. They're walking back to back.
Yeah, I mean, just right down into sewers, watching it. And timing needs to be the trade. Bazzi contains. Pushed into the corner. The position is known. The flick of the wrist is there, but is there time? That is the question. He's going to be sprinting all the way with a knife out now.
Rossi has nade.
And it's not really planted. A quick tap of it right out into the open. It should be a slam dunk. Indeed it is. SK Rossi. Safe hands from him. So that 11th round is going to be claimed now here for Global Esports. One step closer.
Something we haven't even mentioned thus far, Brent, too, is that Global Esports, from what we've been told, were not intended to play with this roster. They were intended to play with Ronski on the team.
Yeah.
And so Global Esports have like a 7-man rotating roster, but they had found the core that worked for them and were forced to pivot coming into this event. And the fact that they are now on the precipice of going to a third map and taking the game to Vitality, a dark horse squad from EMEA with a lot of skill on the roster, this is already impressive.
Yeah.
Already impressive. Global Esports, though, need to keep their foot on the gas. You can't allow Vitality to come back into it, and Vitality are going to have opportunities.
That's going to be their aim with this timeout.
Yeah, this next round, though, they're taking the timeouts whenever they've got a force buy situation. Their economy is really poor here, Vitality. They can afford like a rifle or two, but it's not great. So I think Salah's going to be saying here and having the final decision on whether or not they play for overtime. I don't know what you would do in this spot. This is so tough.
It's a really hard ask, isn't it? It seems like what they are opting into is half bite. Rifle in the hands of Twiston might just be good enough.
Yeah, it's a hero rifle.
Yeah, but the bunny's running so low, and there's no ultimates to work with either. That's all in the camp of Global Esports. You look at that, so many tools to try and offset whatever might get thrown at them.
And Global Esports are going to be pushing up B long, but that's going to open an avenue on the map for Twiston. And with Twiston having the hero rifle, he's the player to watch here.
He's going to be trying to carve out a path for them, but Texture watching this one. Operator tries to go for the flick, now being pressured, and Sender wasn't watching the right angle. Still, Texture is under a lot of pressure right now, just being flooded in. And that updraft position, still, how does he claim a second kill? It is even though, 3-3.
But now they've got rifles.
And yeah, they have exchanged the weaponry around. Fight needs to be taken. That is such a massive one to win.
Because that also gives up the entire part of the map that the spike's been planted for. Destrian has an awful position here. He's not going to meet anybody, he's going to stay alive, but he can't spam the plant.
The wall blocks him away. SK Rossi with a flank timing, just impeccable. Bone Cold not expecting it. And this task ahead of Destrian, just to try and salvage this, it's an impossible one. Doesn't have any util, not going to be watched for. Either side swinging back and forth, and SK Rossi finalizes it. And Global Esports now on the precipice. One more round is what's going to stand between them and bringing this to map number 3.
Their defense side has been so impressive on this map. 4 out of 4 pistols won, but also starting to get the rifle rounds really working. Textures coming alive, Monya playing really well too. And even when the rounds are getting dangerous, they're finding the punishes and clearing these areas of the map out really well.
Yeah.
1 more round required, and we head to Lotus. And I have no idea what can happen on Lotus. Don't even get us started. Big clash over B main.
Massive fight being taken, and the flash is good for it. All the players just out of position. SK Rossi, he's swinging wide right now. He's being forced back and forth. Flick of the wrist, it misses. Texture doesn't land the shot. This is painstaking right now, and they've already lost it, but it is that 1-for-1.
But I think Rossi panicked a little bit. He used his ultimate in the midst of all of this. maybe just to try and keep himself alive. That's a big
Stuff
tool.
like util, yeah, it was a big tool. Not going to be available now. Aaron, his job just to try and hold down this angle. Doesn't pay for it with his life, but the util was cleared out. His turret not going to be watched now for any space that it's gained, and it forces him to just keep his eyes on it physically himself. Doesn't have that util. Does have his back being watched, though. You can see the util there with the alarm button, and Nanoswarm needs to stay alive, though, and there we go, timing. Nanoswarm's popped off, and it has separated them. Split them up. SK Rossi right into the corner. Does he realize? Finally spots it. Spike drop down, and now the re-swing. Reset in the aim, one after another. SK Rossi, with his country represented, India, taking them all the way now to map number 3 in this series.
What a map win, and what an emphatic way to do it at the end. Pearl belongs to Global Esports, and Vitality have been knocked completely asunder there, not expecting to give that map up. We got a game.
Yep.
And I have no clue how Lotus is going to go. It's got to be the most unpredictable way to end a series possible between these two squads. But I'm so glad that Global Esports woke up after a shockingly poor display on Split. But they finally demonstrated what they're actually capable of.
Yeah, overcoming an absolutely massive obstacle, but we will be heading to map number 3, and we're going to take a short break. On the other side of things, of course, continuation of the series.
Carrier kill. One